Welcome, everybody. Welcome, fellow patriots. Welcome, fellow deplorables. Welcome, all you dregs of society, rock dwellers, sycophants, stinkos, all you hateful people, all you bad people who celebrate the president. No matter what they say about you or what they call you, you're always welcome here. And this is the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Rick Trader, and coming to you live from the studios of the Conservative Commandos Radio Network. And my co-host today is the Patriots from the battle-born state, the silver state of Nevada, and that's Sharron Angle. Sharron, welcome to Conservative Commandos. And before we get started, Sharron, I have to say Nevada now, because we are on full-time on Eddie Floyd's station in Nevada, starting 6 every morning, from 6 to 8 every morning, and in Reno, your hometown. That's and right. Just want to thank Eddie Floyd for making that happen.
Well, it's great that we've got my hometown finally covered, because people are always asking me, Sharron, how can I listen to you on the radio? And I'm having to direct them either to the internet or say, well, on Wednesdays. But now it's every day. So I'm happy with that. And of course, we're coming soon on AUN TV too. So it's just we're expanding. And I guess we want our audience to know it's because of you that we're able to expand and the help that you give us. And of course, there's a donate button on ccrshow.com, because we donate our time here at Conservative Commandos Radio Show to be able to bring these great guests to you. There's no paid staff, but we do have expenses. And and those expenses are the ones that get us that expansion, that get us into your hometown, that get us on the radio in different places, and of course on the TV. And we want to go farther now that we've hit the barrier of the Sierra Nevadas. We can get all the way east if we want to. We know how to get over mountains finally, so we're on our way.
Well, actually, we didn't get over them in a sense as much as we got around them. But you know, any barrier you come to, when you get to a barrier, you have to figure out either how to hurdle it or how to get around it. We figured out how to get around the Sierra Nevada mountains. Very soon, we're going to have 2 television stations. We're going to be broadcasting from 2 stations, one in Reno, one in Carson City, and hopefully moving south from that point in the great state of Nevada. So it's exciting news for here. And Sharron's right. Sharron's right. We do not take a salary. No one here at Conservative Commandos makes any money out of what we do. If we get anything, we always invest it back into our show, in expanding it to get to as many people as we possibly can. Conservative Commandos has been going on for 12 years, but no one ever has made a dime from it. In fact, we pay our own expenses. We really do.
Yeah, CPAC is one of those, right? Every year we say, is this worth it? But it's worth it because of you. It's worth it because of you, our listeners. We just know that the message has to get out, and the message is getting out. I'm so pleased to see. You know, I wondered how easily Americans would be about giving up their constitutional rights. You know, it looked like we were just going to lay down and take it. And then these little protests started, the ones in the capital cities of Sacramento. We had one here in Carson City and Lansing, Michigan. All of a sudden, it's now taken off like a wildfire. I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were saying how in Carson City, it wasn't the old folks, you know, the Tea Party, the guys that had been taxed enough already. It was guys that get taxation.
Yep.
Well, most young people, they haven't been working long enough to realize how devastating taxes can be. But this one is different. These were young people that came out to protest, and the reason is because this is affecting their jobs, their livelihood. And I was reading about a lady in El Dorado County. This is a small a small town, El Dorado, not county, but El Dorado. It's a town
Hmm.
in the Sierra Nevadas above Sacramento, quite a ways. And she said, I just had no other choice. I can't stay closed any longer. So she Facebooked, I'm opening up Sunday, come and have breakfast. She has a little restaurant that holds 35 people. Her biggest crowd all day long, the most customers she's ever had in a day is 100.
Wow.
Last Sunday, she had 188 came from
Wow.
all over the place, lined up around the blocks to get in.
What town is
Some
this?
waiting 3 hours to eat breakfast, but it was their way of saying, we're done with this, Gavin Newsom.
Hmm.
We're done with you and your draconian efforts to take away our right to assemble, our right to earn a living,
Right.
our right to freedom of speech. It's just the First Amendment became alive and well at the El Dorado Cafe. And I was just
Where
pleased to
is El
see it.
Dorado? Sure.
It's in the Sierra Nevadas
Well,
above.
let me see. If I got in my car now, you can't get on a plane, but if I got in my car now, how long do you think it would take me to drive 2,200 miles to get to the El Dorado Cafe for breakfast? I mean, I'm
5
in,
slow days, 3.5 if you're really trucking.
might be worth it. Might be worth it, you know?
you know, it might. There's another hero.
Yes.
This lady's name is, I want to say her name out because I really do believe she is a hero. She didn't set out to be a hero. She just said, I have to make a living. Her name is Baldridge, or is her last name. I can't see her first name right off. Sherry Baldridge. Sherry Baldridge of El Dorado.
Let's try to get her on the show, Sharon.
Okay, we'll see if we can.
Yeah.
And another one, Rick Savage. He has the brew pub in Bethel, Maine, and he said he'd had enough too. He planned to reopen his brew company, and he opened it up. And the governor threatened him with taking away his liquor license. He consulted some folks and found out, no, she can't do that. So
Good. Good.
on he goes, and Tuesday he's going to reopen again. And finally, another patriot, Pastor Christopher Casey of Adams Square Baptist Church in Worcester, Massachusetts, will be hit with a $300 civil fine for holding a Sunday service with over 10 people in attendance for the second week in a row. So he was over it 2 weeks ago, and he's having church again. You know, I was listening to the radio, Rick, the other day, and someone said it's a sad thing in a country. He says, what will be God's judgment upon a country who makes child sacrifice legal and worship of God illegal? And
Of course, when you're talking child sacrifice, you're talking about this horrible abortion thing that 60 million children, 60 million innocent lives have been destroyed, and yet they are.
Well, he was talking about the judgments that came on the people in the Old Testament for not worshiping their God and for sacrificing their children.
Sherry Baldridge, right?
Same thing. Cherie, yeah, Cherie, Cherie Baldridge, Baldri.
El Dorado Cafe.
At the El Dorado Cafe in El Dorado, California. Yep.
Got to have her on the show. Sharron, let's take our first break, actually, and we have 3 great guests we could talk about after that. And we'll talk some more about, or we will talk some about Michelle Obama. We got some news on her. But you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network. This show, today's show, like all our shows, is being brought to you by the First Amendment, protected by the Second. They go hand in hand. Think about it, and we will be right back.
thank God you're gonna be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm gonna call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling, the complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day, and for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
Once again, we want to welcome you back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And Sharron, as I say all the time, the hallmark of our show is our great guests. And if you'd like to recommend someone who you think we should have on as a guest, please let me know. Easy to do. Send an email. It's auntv@yahoo.com. Used to be Rick at conservativecommandosradioshow.com. I made it easy for you. It's just auntv@yahoo.com. Maybe you'd even like to be a guest. Send an email. So Sharron, speaking of guests, who will we be speaking with today?
We have a longtime friend, Rachel Alexander. She's the senior editor at The Stream, coming on to talk about an article she wrote, Democrats, please stick with Biden for your presidential nominee.
Yes.
We also, our second guest is a friend from the National Independent Women's Forum. Her name is Claudia Rosett, and she's going to be talking to us about China's agenda with this coronavirus. Our final guest is Matt Margolis. He's an author, has written many books, now I think about 4 or 5, about Trump and Obama and the comparison, and also one that we like especially is The Worst President in History, The Legacy of Barack Obama. His new book, Airborne, is coming, and he's going to be talking to us about Biden's call for a search of the National Archives for Reade Complaint Just Backfired. You know, Rick, it's great when we have guests that come on and they tell us things way in advance sometimes of of the news media, but also things that the news media just really don't want to report. And I'm speaking of one of our guests, Dr. Gerard Lamero. Way back in January of 2019, he said, I told you that Trump was going to be the nominee and was going to win the presidency in 2015, way before anybody even gave him a chance. Right after he had announced his candidacy, he says, this guy's the one. He's going to win. Yep. He says, so now I'm going to tell you another one. And that other one is that the Democrat nominee for president in 2020 will be Michelle Obama. Mm-hmm. And this week we found out that that's not so far from not the truth, just because Biden seems the heir presumptive. Long time till November.
Sharron, I think the Biden nominee is in deep trouble with this Tara Reade situation. Not only that, there's something going on inside this man's head. He's not coherent. He rambles. I don't think he'll be the nominee either. However, we did receive an email today from the committee to draft Michelle Obama for vice president. There is a committee out there, get this, to draft Michelle Obama for the vice president. I think they're doing that, seeing Joe Biden exactly as we do, that he will never be the nominee. And if he's not the nominee, who will be? Well, Michelle Obama. And this committee to draft Michelle Obama put out this press release, and I would like to read a couple excerpts and comment on it, and also have you comment on it, Sharron. Says, with a historic battle to reclaim the soul of America, Sharron, I'd make the argument that America lost its soul with Barack Obama. Okay, and that Donald Trump is actually reclaiming the Judeo-Christian patriotic soul our founding fathers created it to be. Not Barack Obama, not Michelle Obama, or any garbage like that, but Donald Trump. Also, it says in here, in the best interest of the Democrat Party, to nominate a vice presidential candidate who has the trust of the American people. Oh, Michelle Obama has the trust of the American people? This is the woman who said that she has never been proud to be an American citizen, until her husband was elected. That woman who every month was getting out of the United States on Air Force One, that woman, she has the trust of the American people. And I'm continuing, Ms. Obama, not Mrs. Obama, not Michelle Obama, not former First Lady Michelle Obama. Ms. Obama, the most admired woman in America. Well, I believe also the most hated woman in America. Well, actually, there are two. One's 1, the other's 1A, and that's Hillary Clinton. All right. Then they have here her credibility as a trusted leader and a strong symbol of unity within the Democrat Party. Well, Barack Obama, I said it before, when he was president, was the most divisive president in America's history, where Abraham Lincoln divided the country north and south. Barack Obama divided the country left and right, black and white, young and old, educated and uneducated. He was the most divisive president. What more could we expect from his wife? Then said, if elected, she would usher in a much needed sense of virtue in Washington, which is gracefully exemplified in the question that she said, when they go low, we go high. Yes, and it was also her husband who said, go to a knife fight with a gun. He also said, reward our friends and punish our enemies. And he also sicked the IRS, the FBI, the CIA onto everyday American citizens because they disagreed with him. So do you want to believe this? Do you want to believe this? I've got a few bridges to sell you. Sharron? I'll give you time to respond.
Well, I just had to check it out. I wondered who this committee was, and they registered with the FEC on April the 26th. And of course, you have to tell who you are. And the guy who registered it is a fellow named Ryan Manthe from Arlington Heights, Illinois.
Oh, great. The Illinois connection.
Okay, there's better. It gets better. Arlington Heights is one of the best places to live in Illinois. It's a Chicago suburb, and they have great restaurants. I mean, this is the place in Chicago.
Sounds like you've been there.
For the elite. Well, I just Googled it. I just had to find out what Arlington Heights had to say, and this is their native son. Ryan Manthe was 15 years old in 2017. So that's the first thing that I could find about him. So he's probably 18 years old now.
In my opinion, Sharron, what does an 18-year-old know about who should serve as vice president or president? I wonder if this guy even knows how to change his own diapers at 18 years old. In my opinion, shouldn't have the right to vote. I don't think anybody under 35 should have a right to vote because they haven't developed a brain up to that point. Like Churchill said, if you're not a liberal by the age of 20, you have no heart. If you're not a conservative by the age of 40, you have no brain. Well, obviously, this 18-year-old has no brain. What else can you tell us about him, Sharron?
Well, that's about the size of Ryan Manthe, but I think that my biggest concern, I suppose, is that with everything that's happened in our country, we've been going into debt more and more and more. And this latest little indebtedness that gets us in is over this virus and this bailout. People want to say it's a stimulus, but it's not a stimulus. So I wanted to know where is that debt? Here we are, 3 trillion more. Now we're up to 22 trillion. Mm-hmm. So I said to Google, because he's one of my best friends sometimes, who owns the huge and growing U.S. national debt?
China.
Who owns it?
China.
Not so quick. Not so quick. Roughly 3/4 of the government's debt is public debt, which includes treasury securities. We own the debt. Us.
Oh, so we're the one that'll never get paid back.
That's
because
right.
That kind of money, Sharron, can never be paid back.
Okay, and this is where they're taking it. Intragovernmental debt is debt owed to the other federal agencies and makes up roughly 1/4 of the outstanding debt. So this includes Social Security, military retirement funds, Medicare, and other retirement funds, and the remainder is public debt with foreign governments and investors holding approximately 30%. So which countries hold the most? Japan is the largest holder with 1.268 trillion. China is number 2 with 1.11 trillion. The UK is number 3 with 403 billion. Brazil is number 4 with 286 billion. Ireland is 5th, and they have about 283 billion. I was surprised, but most of our
Brazil.
debt is you and me. It's you and me, and this debt that China and the rest of the other countries own is largely in treasury holdings in bonds.
Wow.
So security bonds. So if we wanted to make China pay back for some of this Wuhan virus havoc that they have wreaked upon us, we should just say 1.1 trillion of it comes back. We're just
I like that. I like that. Hold that money. Hold that money to pay.
It's not as much as I was hoping for. When you said, China, I was thinking, All right, maybe we can get we'll get 20 trillion of this back, but no.
Well, you know, Sharron,
no
they also own a lot of assets here in the United States. In
They
fact,
do.
they just bought the largest refinery in Houston, Texas. Scary. Sharron, got to go to a break and get our first guest on. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. Rachel Alexander, senior editor at The Stream. She's the founder and the editor of Intellectual Conservative. Will join us after the break. She's written an article, Democrats, please stick with Joe Biden for your presidential nominee. I wonder why. You'll find out right after this break.
All right.
Okay, let me stop the recording here and save it.
Attention homeowners. Do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And once again, a reminder for rebroadcast of our show. Check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. Also, don't forget to like us, friend us, and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And Sharron, we have a longtime friend of the show with us. It's been a while since we've seen her, but it's great to have her back on. Will you make that introduction?
Oh, I'm pleased and honored to introduce our longtime friend, Rachel Alexander, who is a senior editor at The Stream. She's a political columnist and the founder and editor of Intellectual Conservative. She is a regular contributor to Town Hall, the Sirius Foundation of Public Policy Research, The Christian Post, and Right Wing News. She frequently appears on TV and news radio and has hosted a radio show on 960 KKNT in Phoenix. She previously served as the Assistant Attorney General in the state of Arizona and as the corporate attorney for GoDaddy Software. She was ranked by Right Wing News as one of the 50 best conservative columnists, and he is a recipient of the Americans for Prosperity's Right Online Activist of the Year Award. Rachel, welcome to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Thanks for having me back, you guys, and thinking of me. Now that we no longer have a PR team, I don't get pitched anywhere, so that's why you don't hear from me.
Well, we want you to send us your articles. Rick just wants you to email them to you. He doesn't need a PR team to find you. Just tell him that you've got something for us and something that's good like this. This last one that you...
I'll add them to my email list.
Oh, good. Your latest article is Democrats, please stick with Biden for your presidential nominee. All right. Well, my husband was saying the same thing the other night. He says, I hope they don't bail out on this guy. He's our best chance to get Trump reelected. Is that your take too?
Yeah, and that's a surprise coming from me because I was hoping for Bernie Sanders for months because I figured he was the one that would be the easiest to defeat because he's, an avowed socialist and so far to the left. A lot of people in the middle aren't going to vote for him. And Biden has just surprised me. He just never stops with the gaffes. There's, almost a gaffe every day. And I've, started posting on social media, Biden gaffe of the day. And now that we've got these sexual harassment, sexual assault charges or accusations against him, he is looking worse and worse and worse. And it's like the gaffes never stop either. So it's like he can't help himself. It's going to keep going.
Okay, it keeps going unless he drops out or the Democrats say, no way can we win with this guy. What do you think? Will they be able to go all the way to November with him?
From what I know with these conventions and, having these broker conventions at the last minute, it is very difficult to get people to change. First of all, one option would be to get Biden to drop out. I don't think he's going to. He's got that whole, John McCain attitude. It's my turn. I get to run for president now. And so what they're going to have to do is look at a brokered convention, but trying to get people to, go away from what they see as the moderate, stable, person whose time has come is going to be incredibly difficult. And from what Democrat articles I've read, they don't think it's going to happen.
Well, when I look at him, he just seems like he gets less and less viable by the day with all these charges. And it's not, as you said, it's not merely sexual harassment. There's a criminal charge here. And if he were to be arrested, and can he be tried or does he have immunity? What's going on there?
Oh, I don't think there's any immunity there. he could definitely be tried. But again, you're going back to the Clintons. Look what happened to the Clintons. How many things they were prosecuted for. Biden is now in the place where the Clintons were. He's that powerful. He's that big of a Democrat. And I don't think any prosecutor is going to want to dare touch that. You try to prosecute that, you're going to end up disbarred. You guys all remember what happened to me. You go after powerful officials as a prosecutor, they will nail you.
Okay,
so tell that. Wait, sorry, Sharron. What's that story, Rachel? What happened to you?
Oh, and you might remember this. I was an attorney for Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Right.
He tried to go after corrupt county supervisors, but they were friends with the judges because the county supervisors controlled the judges' budgets. So there was no way we were going to win with any prosecutions against the county supervisors because the judges were always going to rule against us because they want their budgets from the county supervisors. So the county supervisors turned around and filed bar complaints against us and said that we had filed frivolous prosecutions. And so the Arizona bar, which is extremely liberal here and targets conservatives, they disbarred my ex-boss, the county attorney. They disbarred his top senior prosecutor, Lisa, and then they suspended my law license for 6 months.
Oh my gosh! Sorry, Sharron.
It's relevant.
Couldn't let that hang like that.
Well, it's relevant because we're talking about consequence to pursuing justice in this country.
Yeah, but one good thing, Rachel, you didn't end up dead like a lot of Hillary Clinton's ex-law partners and friends. So that's a good thing, right?
And as a lot of my friends like to say, well, at least they didn't go after the death penalty for you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that one's really pretty much off the table then. We will not see any prosecutions for this, no matter how much evidence comes forward. So here's the other thing. What if we get to that brokered convention and someone like Michelle Obama, they just filed an FEC committee to draft Michelle Obama to run. What if she comes into that convention? She's a moderate. She's the ex-president's wife. Maybe I shouldn't say that ex, but anyway, where does Biden stand with a run like that?
Well, she would be a very powerful challenger. And, since her husband figured out how to make it to president, she's got the best people behind her advising her. I think there would be a shot. I mean, she's so popular. You look at her approval ratings and they're always sky high. She's one of the most popular people in the Democratic Party. I think there is a slight chance. I will say it's not a big chance because, again, like I said, a broker convention is going to be very difficult to knock Biden off. But she would be one of the leading candidates to try to knock him off if there were one.
Okay, let's go back to the gaffes now. What do you think is behind the gaffes? Is this a medical issue or is he smoking? I mean, what's causing this?
Yeah, and I put in my article, I'm no doctor, so, I can't judge whether he's got dementia or a mental illness. But, there is something going on. I do know that because you don't get to be that high level in politics and have this many gaffes. When people get to that high level, they are more polished. They only have an occasional gaffe. And so, yeah, there's something wrong. And it could be a drug addiction. I don't know.
Wow. It just seems like Democrats can't even be that, or maybe they can. That in just out of the loop. They don't. Is the media not presenting this to them? Why are they consistently voting for this guy and they don't see what we see?
I just think it's the whole John McCain effect all over again. Was it 2008 when he was the nominee, and we all knew that he was going to lose and didn't have a chance, and maybe that was 2004. But anyway, yeah, I think it's 2004. We all knew he was going to lose, but Republicans just could not replace him. You know, his time had come, and you know, nobody predicted he would win. We knew he would lose to Barack Obama.
Sadly, we did. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe he stays on the ticket and we get our president back. We have to go to a break. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AFM 24/7. And now you can watch us on the AUN TV network in Northern California. I'm Sharron Angle. I'm here with my co-host, Rick Trader, and we've been talking with our guest, Rachel Alexander, about her article, Democrats, Please Stick with Biden for Your Presidential Nominee. We'll be right back after these messages.
Are you a veteran and are you a homeowner? Then think Streamline and maybe save yourself a few $100s every month on your mortgage. A VA Streamline Refinance. It's called a rate reduction loan because mortgage interest reduction is exactly what it does. It's just for veterans and it lowers your mortgage rate so you can save on mortgage payments every month, every year. That's a lot of money saved. And it's so easy to qualify. You don't need pay stubs, a W-2, or bank statements. You don't need a home appraisal. It's fast and easy to apply. And mortgage interest rates are very low right now. So a VA Streamline Refinance makes it super easy and super affordable to take advantage of this opportunity and really cut your monthly mortgage payments. Veteran and homeowner? Call us to find out more. 888-893-7491. 888-893-7491.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
Is your credit card debt driving you batty? We're going up! Just like your credit card fees and interest rates. To the top! With those sky-high payments! You can't forget about your debt. Always fear, the debt suckers are here! Are your payments sucking the life out of you? Just one call to Consolidated Credit can get the debt suckers off your back. Consolidated Credit will lower your interest rates, consolidate your bills into one easy payment, and get you out of debt fast. Call Consolidated Credit and get your life back.
Call 1-800-201-8213. 1-800-201-8213. That's 1-800-201-8213. 1-800-201-8213.
When debt is a problem, Consolidated Credit is the solution. Because debt sucks!
Attention Viagra and Cialis users. Are prescription drugstore prices too costly? Get 50 generic pills for only $99. That's right, 50 100 milligram generic Viagra for only $99. Our products have the same active ingredients as the brand name products. Money back guaranteed if you're 100% not satisfied. Get 50 generic pills for only $99. Order now and call the number on your screen. Have your credit card ready.
And once again, we want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. And as I love to do, I want to give a shout out to folks who listen to us on radio stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, Washington, D.C., as well as seen on the AUN television network. Our guest this segment is Rachel Alexander. She's the senior editor at The Stream. She's a political columnist. Columnist. Oh my God, cut your heart out, Rick Trader. She's a political columnist and the founder and editor of Intellectual Conservative. Rachel, I didn't mean to embarrass you by saying that, but welcome back to...
Don't worry.
Just a gaffe, Rick. Just a gaffe. We've been talking about those.
See, I was a little off my game because I wanted to talk with you ladies about a nightmare that I had last night. I had this nightmare that I was in the hierarchy of the Democrat National Committee, and I was thinking of how can we get rid of Joe Biden? And then I read an article by Rachel Alexander, and she outlined all the reasons we need to get rid of this guy. Let's see. Biden has turned into a train wreck. His gaffe a day. That's point one. I'm not going to try to diagnose him. I don't know about mental illness, dementia, drugs, drinking too much, but there's something funny going on. So that's number two. Number three. His creepy groping of women, young girls, accusations of sexual assault. Number four, Biden's maneuvering his son to get a job with the Ukrainian oil company. Wow, there it is, my nightmare. I've got the answer to my nightmare. How do we get rid of Joe Biden? There's the game plan, ladies. Rachel Alexander, is my dream looking too far outside the box?
I don't think they're probably going to be able to do it. But if I were, high-level Democrats, I would be pressuring him into dropping out. I would send people like Barack Obama.
Don't need to pressure him. Don't need to pressure him, and I'll tell you why. The Democrats have a reputation, and they have a history of getting rid of candidates they know are losers. Now, I think you ladies are too young to remember this, but since I'm older than dirt, I remember Thomas Eagleton. How it came out that after he was nominated as vice president, they pulled him off the tickets because they found some things out about him. I also know about Robert Torricelli, an incumbent senator from New Jersey, with a month left to the election, was way behind in the polls. The Democrats pulled him off the ticket, and they put on Frank Lautenberg. And guess what? Lautenberg won. So there's a history. There's a real history, Rachel, Sharron, what the Democrats will do to win an election. And it's anything in pulling off a guy like Joe Biden.
I hadn't thought of that fact, but now that you bring that up, wow, that does put a different wrinkle in it. They haven't had any luck so far getting him to drop out of the race, but we do have a long time for them to do it.
That's right. And Sharron probably knows this, and you probably know this, Rachel. The real campaign season starts October 1. They don't have to do anything until October 1. But I'll make Rachel, I don't know if you gamble. I don't know if you have $25 you don't know what to do with. But if you do, get on a computer, find a gambling site, and make a bet that Joe Biden will not be the nominee. He will not be the person that people vote against come November. I really think that it's going to be Michelle Obama. I really do. Drudge Report. Rachel, in your article, you talk about the Drudge Report in polls. Follow up on that, will you please?
Yeah, what really disturbs me now that the Drudge Report has gone to the left is it keeps posting these shock polls that say that Trump is losing in swing states and he's losing across the country, and his approval ratings are down and, all this negative news. But as we have learned, especially in the last couple of years, these polls tend to oversample Democrats. And if you look at the breakdown, it's always more Democrats are surveyed than are representative of their numbers in the population. And fewer Republicans are surveyed. And the other problem with these polls is they only survey regular voters. And if you know anything about regular voters, you get the kinds that vote all the time, and then you got the kinds that might be registered, but they, hardly ever vote. And the ones that hardly ever vote tend to be more Democrats. So that's not an accurate poll. That's going to show more Democrats. So what you need to poll is what one polling company called the likely voters. And these are people who didn't just, vote in maybe the last election, but they voted in the last several elections. That is who's going to decide the election.
All right. Rachel, in your article, you're right. Democrats are doing everything they can to blame Trump, no matter what he does in handling the pandemic. But you say Trump surprised you. How did he surprise you?
He surprised me by having his approval ratings stay high throughout this whole pandemic. And, he did it by, I think, holding those press conferences every day where he could speak directly to the American people, reassure the American people, keep them updated on what he was doing, without being censored by the liberal media, which would spin it, bad. People could just turn on TV and watch his press conferences every day. And so I think he's been an absolute genius. And, if you had asked me, a month and a half ago when I wrote a column about whether he could get reelected at this point, I would have said probably not.
You also write in your article, can you imagine Biden's performance in a debate with Trump? You know what? I'd pay money to see that. I think they should make it a pay-per-view event. I think they'd make give that money to charity. Give that money to Americans that have been put out of their jobs because of this Chinese virus, as I call it. I call it the Chinese virus because that's where it came from. Rachel, how much would you pay for a ticket to see that on pay-per-view?
If I couldn't watch it free, I would definitely pay. And for all my friends out there who drink, I would be like, okay, you got to have a drinking game every time Biden gets the gas. And they would all be drunk by the end of the debate.
Well, and again, Sharron and I talked about this earlier. This committee, what's it called here, Sharron? I've got it written down here.
Committee to draft Michelle Obama
for vice president. Do you think Michelle Obama on the ticket would help him?
Oh, definitely. And he'd be smart to let her do all the talking, let her be out in the forefront because she is really popular. And, the little I've seen of her speak, she doesn't make mistakes. So that would be a smart pick.
Maybe good for the Democrat Party. I think it would be very bad for our country. Really, really. Hey, Rachel, one last question. We've got to make America great again. I mean, it is in poor shape. We've got more unemployment now than any time since the Great Depression of 1929. And I'm going to give you 5 or 6 names. I'm going to ask you, who do you think has the policies and the track record to bring us out of this depression, and why? So let's go down these names. Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump brought our economy to an amazing level already. He did it once. He can do it again.
All right. Thank you so much. Hey, Rachel, I'm so glad you could come back with us. It's been a long time. Had fun. It's great to see. I hope you enjoyed it too. Please tell our audience how they could follow your work and read what you write.
Go to my main job website, stream.org, and you can find my articles at townhall.com and follow me on Twitter at Rach_IC.
Rachel Alexander, great to see you again. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care and God bless.
God bless. Thank you.
And you are watching and listening to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel. She is the calm one. I'm Rick Trader. I'm the kind of the crazy one. Coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network. On the other side, we're going to be joined by Claudia Rosett. She's a foreign policy fellow with the Independent Women's Forum. She's written a terrific article. China is exploiting the, I'll call it, Chinese virus chaos to advance its agenda. Don't go away. You'll want to hear this right after this break.
Are you a veteran and are you a homeowner? Then think Streamline and maybe save yourself a few $100s every month on your mortgage. A VA Streamline refinance. It's called a rate reduction loan because mortgage interest reduction is exactly what it does. It's just for veterans and it lowers your mortgage rate so you can save on mortgage payments every month, every year. That's a lot of money saved. And it's so easy to qualify. You don't need pay stubs, a W-2, or bank statements. You don't need a home appraisal. It's fast and easy to apply. And mortgage interest rates are very low right now. So a VA Streamline refinance makes it super easy and super affordable to take advantage of this opportunity and really cut your monthly mortgage payments. Veteran and homeowner? Call us to find out more. 888-893-7491. 888-893-7491.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
Is your credit card debt driving you batty?
We're going up! Just like your credit card fees and interest rates. To the top! With those sky-high payments! You can't forget about your debt! Always fear! The debt suckers are here!
Are your payments sucking the life out of you? Just one call to Consolidated Credit can get the debt suckers off your back. Consolidated Credit will lower your interest rates, consolidate your bills into one easy payment, and get you out of debt fast. Call Consolidated Credit and get your life back.
Call 1-800-201-8213. 1-800-201-8213. That's 1-800-201-8213. 1-800-201-8213.
When debt is a problem, Consolidated Credit is the solution.
Because debt sucks!
Attention Viagra and Cialis users. Are prescription drugstore prices too costly? Get 50 generic pills for only $99. That's right, 50 100 milligram generic Viagra for only $99. Our products have the same active ingredients as the brand name products. Money back guaranteed if you're 100% not satisfied. Get 50 generic pills for only $99. Order now and call the number on your screen. Have your credit card ready.
And once again, we want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And just as a reminder for rebroadcast of our show, maybe you want to share it with a friend. I hope you do. Please check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. You'll find our TV show there, our radio show, a whole bunch of other articles and great information. And with that, Sharron, we do have our next guest with us. And Sharron, please make her feel at home like you do with all our guests.
Well, it is a pleasure and an honor to introduce Claudia Rosett, who is a foreign policy fellow with the Independent Women's Forum and an award-winning journalist who has reported over the past 37 years from Asia, the former Soviet Union, Latin America, and the Middle East. She's widely credited with groundbreaking reporting on corruption at the United Nations. Claudia has contributed to numerous publications and makes frequent appearances on TV and radio, and she's appeared before 6 U.S. Senate and House committee and subcommittees to testify. Claudia, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you, and you've written a really wonderful article. China is exploiting the coronavirus chaos to advance its agenda. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start out and make it very clear what the agenda is that China has. What is that agenda? Let's talk about that first.
Okay, this is going to sound like parody, but it is the truth. The agenda is to dominate the world. Seriously, we have another one of these problems on our hands. We thought it was over in the last century. China's dictator, President Xi Jinping, aspires, he's got a real program here, he's got a timetable. By the year 2049, the 100th anniversary of Mao's founding of the People's Republic of China, current President Xi Jinping wants to make China the dominant power in the world. And I would say he's greatly accelerating his timetable right now.
Well, that's almost 30 years from now. Can he last that long? How old is he?
He's 60, mid-60s. I forget, 66, 67. But one of the reasons I think he's accelerating his timetable is both opportunity, and I don't think he wants to hand it on to a successor. I think he wants this in his lifetime. So we're not actually looking at 30 years. Some of the best observers, most astute observers I know of this, suggest that it's the coming decade that we need to be really, really worried about.
Now, will he be satisfied, I guess, to just merely be the main influence? We know that President Trump is the most powerful man in the world. I mean, truly, because of the position that America holds in the world, the United States holds in the world, economically, militarily, just so many factors there. Would he be satisfied with that, or does he really want to be the dictator? He wants to rule the world.
That's where this goes, and the difference is really important. Yes, the U.S. has been the great superpower for a long time, but countries tend to export sort of what they are, their systems. And we're not fundamentally a power of conquest. You know, even when we have ended up in wars occupying territory, we give it back. And we are a democracy. You know, look at the way we're handling the coronavirus pandemic right now. In China, you had this totalitarian lockdown. People had absolutely no choice and no recourse. Here, we're having quite a brawl over how to handle it. It's democracy. We're having a debate. You know, there really has been discussion. And what China exports is bullying, despotic tactics. We've been seeing it very clearly. You know, in some ways it's come to a neighborhood near you not long ago with the kind of thing that went on with the NBA, the National Basketball Association, last fall, where one person connected with them tweeted out, you know, "Go Hong Kong" for the protesters there who want democracy. And China turned around and basically said, we're not going to broadcast your games in China. We're going to cut off that whole source of money. China sort of, since it's under tremendous central political control, can do that. It's sort of like Tony Soprano targeting people for extortion. That's what would happen. And China would say, you must do this. And if somebody says no, they will pay a terrible price. That's where it goes.
Okay, it feels like we're paying a terrible price already with this virus that they have exported to us. We here at Conservative Commandos radio show don't generally call it the coronavirus or COVID-19. We refer to it as Wuhan virus or China virus, basically because they're in such denial about their complicity in spreading this and what looks like may have been a weaponization of this virus. So talk about how this fits into that agenda of worldwide domination.
Okay, let's first note that among those who are still calling it the Chinese virus are protesters for democracy in Hong Kong, okay? And they aren't anti-Chinese per se, you know, they regard themselves as Hong Kongers, but they are Chinese. They are against the Chinese Communist Party, and which has been trying in every way with its propaganda to change the reality, to put out a big lie and then demand that people believe it. China's Communist Party has tried blaming it on the United States, saying it was brought to China by the U.S. military. It's a complete lie. Then they tried blaming it on Italy. They have understated the numbers by probably staggering amounts because they're busy now saying China is the world model of disease control, when China actually brought us this disease. And here's part of what has been so terrible. We don't actually know for sure just how this originated, okay? Maybe an accident in a lab, maybe it was bioengineered, maybe it naturally occurred in a bat that was brought from someplace. We don't know. But what we do know for sure is this: the timing of China's handling of this ensured that it would spread around the world, because China let it run and let it run for weeks after they knew it was contagious. Xi Jinping officially took charge of the whole thing in early January, and yet they did nothing to contain it. They did the opposite. They terrorized, arrested, threatened, bullied doctors, and then they reported officially no new cases for more than a week in early January. That's not how this disease works. That was a lie. And they left their flunky, their lackey World Health Organization to tell us all, oh, don't worry, it's not really contagious between people. There's no clear evidence of that. Meantime, it was spreading. Already, people were getting on flights leaving China. Wuhan is a busy central city with a lot of flights internationally as well as around China. By the time China finally locked down Wuhan, there were already cases in the United States, in Japan, in South Korea, in Thailand. It was turning up all over the place. And this is where there's just no reading you can put on it. I don't buy for a second that China just sort of bungled the thing. It had to have their clear attention. They were familiar with SARS in that part of the world. Anything that looked like strange pneumonia immediately set off alarms, as it did in Taiwan, which immediately took measures. China did not. They ensured the spread of this disease. And now they are presenting themselves, this is the propaganda of China's Communist Party, as models of how to fight the disease. I mean, this is so perverse. Again, it's sort of in a very extreme and really destructive version of a protection racket, if you like. And it has been ruinous. I mean, they've crashed the world economy. If you want influence around the world, that's quite a staggering achievement, but it's not a good one. So that's China's Communist Party for you.
Well, and how does that make it to their advantage? Now, I can see where they don't, they have such a disrespect for the value of human life that they don't really care how many people in their country die from this. I get that. It's goodbye and good riddance. But the economy, it seems to me, especially with what the anger that they have incited around the world, I would think this was more like shooting yourself in your foot than promoting your agenda, because people are now wise to WHO. They are also wise to the complete control of some of our industries that China has had. They're also wise to the tariff and the just the inconsistency, or the unfairness, maybe is a better word. So how did this actually help them? I can't see that now that we all know what's going on, or maybe we don't all know.
Well, two things. One, it has greatly weakened us right now. We had a thriving economy. In early January, the U.S. was going gangbusters. Now that's been knocked flat, and we're trying madly to scrape ourselves back together. It will take a lot of time and effort to really get back to where we were. I'm sure we can do it, but it's been an enormous hit. They've done the same thing to Europe. They've done this around the world. They've done it to Japan. They've done it to democratic competitors, rivals, whatever you want to call it, countries that they seek to finally, if you like, subjugate, to sort of bring under their shadow. And at the same time, we enjoy enormous advantages over China in many ways, especially as American citizens. You know, whatever you're going through right now, we're not going through what they went through in Wuhan, where they had no recourse, where there were armed security blocking them into the city, locking them into their apartments, whether they had medical resources or not. There were people were just dropping dead in the streets early on, and nobody was there to do anything. Okay, China has the ability to just lock them down, the same way when 31 years ago, and it's the same Communist Party in this book, this part of its character, when they didn't like the protesters in Tiananmen Square, they sent in the army and shot them until those protests stopped. Okay, so China, it's a horrible system. But if what you're looking for is a complete quarantine, it has its advantages, all right? So they're playing a game here where you let this virus out. And here I speculate. I don't know for sure the intention. I can only read what it looks like. What it looks like to me is they let the virus spread. You know, the likely calculation is that this virus got out by accident, and then they realized they would have to take a big economic hit to shut it down, to lock it down, to put on the quarantines they needed. And they decided not to restrict that misery to China. If China was going to take a hit, the rest of the world was going to take a hit. And it's interesting, they put on this lockdown. We don't actually know what the real numbers were. Okay, they lied, probably by orders of magnitude. But the official result that you see is a curve that just flattens like that. No other country shows that, okay? I think that's partly China's propaganda, but it's also partly that China put on such extreme measures. You know, right now, they're not allowing foreigners to fly in, despite their protest of our travel ban back in January. Now they're completely locking things out. So they are better configured to do that. They run a massive surveillance state. There's no real rule of law. It's all whatever the party says. So if they tell everybody, you have to stay in your house, they can drag people off to prison and there's no recourse. They don't have to go to court so in that sense, they're better able to cope with the immediate crisis of this disease. We are better configured to invent things to deal with it. We are better configured to be free when it's over, you know, but China basically triggered an emergency for which it is better equipped for monstrous reasons to cope in the immediate moment of the crisis. That's exactly what they did.
Wow. Well, we have to go to a break now. We've been talking with Claudia Rosett, who's a policy fellow with the Independent Women's Forum. She's written an extraordinary article. China is exploiting the coronavirus chaos to advance its agenda. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM FM 24/7. Now you can watch us on the AUN TV network in Northern California. I'm Sharron Engel. I'm here with my co-host, Rick Trader, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
Once again, I want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. I want to give a shout out to folks who listen to us and watch us on radio stations and television stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and also seen on the AUN television network. We're very pleased to have Claudia Rosett with us today. She's a foreign policy fellow with her friends at the Independent Women's Forum. She's written a fascinating article. China is exploiting the coronavirus chaos to advance its agenda. Claudia, thank you for holding through that break. We appreciate your time. What you said in the very beginning about Xi Jinping's goals for China to master the world is really scary. And what really makes me mad, it's basically funded with U.S. dollars, the money that we have spent to buy cheap Chinese goods. I mean, am I being too analytical on that?
Well, here's where I would say there are things we bought from China where, it was a voluntary exchange. It was free market in that sense. We got something that we valued in exchange. The problem is this, that money didn't go to the individual who produced the goods in China. It all comes under the strategic supervision of the government of China, of the ruling Communist Party. Okay? So when you have a company here, the company sort of pursues its own business. It's probably in the business of just trying to make a profit. When you have a company in China, it's never just in that business. It's all part of the strategic plan of the Communist Party of China. They have ultimate authority. They can tell people to do what they want. And they've gotten much richer over the last 30 years by leaving some people, letting them go ahead and make money. But when they want people to behave in a particular way, they tell them, and those people snap to on or suffer real trouble. They can end up in prison. This is the problem from, say, Huawei, the communications technology company, which really serves the government of China. You know, you bring that into your infrastructure, and China has now entered your infrastructure with all its ill intent toward the free world. So, you know, when you have somebody who's, for instance, making, you know, I'm wearing a sweater that was almost certainly made in China. And I don't think that the people who made the sweater intended me ill. In fact, I've known a lot of people from China over the years who would love to have a free democratic country. Okay, they can't. They have no power to change it.
Right.
But the company that makes that, it basically falls under the sway of the Communist Party. The resources that accrue to that company when we pay them, China has the government has a huge say in where some of those resources get directed, spent much more than here. You know, here we have a negotiated system. You know, I'm not thrilled about a lot of our taxes, but we have a say. We get to vote people out if we don't like them. It's in China, there's nothing of that kind. The Communist Party has been in power for 71 years, and it's been monstrous throughout. It still is, except now it's richer and more powerful.
Yeah. Claudia, one of the fascinating things I find in your article is the timeline. Can you walk us through it?
Yeah, well, China has not actually told us how this began. More to the point, they've blocked access to any investigation. We have not been able to get people in there. Experts from the U.S., no chance to investigate. So China has left it murky. There was sort of an account attributed to classified Chinese documents that a patient zero might have turned up in November. But what we do know is by December, cases of this pneumonia, and it was bad, were starting to come into hospitals in Wuhan. And the doctors could see that it was contagious. They were very alarmed. They were sending samples out for diagnosis. You have to ask, where did they send them? Okay, I have to wonder just how closely was this looked at, because anything in that part of the world that looks like odd pneumonia raises alarms. They lived through SARS. They're terrified of it. And this went on. By late December, there was a diagnosis that came back of SARS coronavirus, something one of them appeared to be, even though we now know it was this SARS-CoV-2. Okay, not SARS, but what you're calling the Wuhan flu. Doctors were terrified. So on December 31st, China finally notified the World Health Organization that they had this odd pneumonia, but they reported a very limited number of cases. Okay, the doctors in Wuhan were scared. They were really scared of this thing. They were talking in a chat room about, be careful, you know, watch out, this is really contagious. They were being monitored by the government. They were hauled out, arrested, threatened, forced to sign documents saying they would not spread any more rumors. And then China just stopped reporting cases for a while. The Wuhan Municipal Bureau put out nothing. Now, the Chinese central government has tried blaming this on the Wuhan local authorities, saying, oh, it wasn't us, it was the local authorities. That's just not credible. China's government was involved absolutely from the instant they reported to the World Health Organization on New Year's Eve, if not before, and probably before. So you had a deliberate decision to not report cases. They sequenced the genome, put it out officially, but they then tell scientists to destroy samples. And on January 14th, the World Health Organization, based on what China is saying, just mindlessly repeats, well, mindlessly would be a compliment, repeats that on Twitter, so for the whole world to contemplate, there is no clear evidence that this spreads person to person. And then more time goes by. Finally, on January 20th, China's Xi Jinping confirms, yes, this is contagious person to person. But another 2 days, more than that, go by. It's not until January 23rd, 3 calendar days later, just after midnight, that China finally imposes this draconian lockdown in Wuhan. So what you have is people flowing out of Wuhan, and this was a period where a lot of people were traveling because it was the run-up to the Chinese Lunar New Year festival.
Right.
People travel out for holidays. They like to go to Italy. They like to come to America. They like to go all over Asia. That's where cases were turning up at that point. in Japan, in Thailand, in South Korea, and in the United States. We already had it here. By the time China finally said, oops, this is contagious, but bear in mind, they let it continue to spread. Even after they said it was contagious, they did nothing specific to contain it until January 23rd.
Well, Claudia, we only have about another minute, and I really need to get this in. You talk about the World Health Organization and what we're calling it. The coronavirus 19, we call it the Chinese flu or the Wuhan flu. In a minute or so, could you explain the complicity of the World Health Organization with the Chinese?
Yeah, sure. China's candidate ran the World Health Organization from 2007 to 2017, just before the current director, Margaret Chan, who's from Hong Kong, but from the government, not a democracy protester, a former civil servant in Hong Kong, basically Beijing anointed, ran the WHO. So China has colonized the World Health Organization for years. Then their candidate, Dr. Tedros, the current director, took charge in 2017. And he has repeated China's line and praised China for transparency when they were covering up, for speed when they were delaying. It's been Orwellian. To such a degree that he basically echoes China's own propaganda, which is something of a feat. And that's what the World Health Organization has been doing. Dr. Tedros, at a recent press conference, said he didn't want to single out anybody. They call endlessly for solidarity, sort of like the Blob. But then he singled out
not a place we need political correctness.
Yes, exactly. Singles out democratic Taiwan for attack. That's the WHO.
Claudia Rosett, sorry to cut you, but we have coming up on a hard break. We want to thank you so much for joining us here on the Conservative Commandos radio show. Please tell our audience where they could go to read your article, follow your work, and the work of the Independent Women's Forum.
You can go to iwf.org. We welcome you to come browse. Lots of good stuff there. And my article is in the Dallas Morning News, last Sunday edition. But you'll find this all at iwf.org for the Independent Women's Forum. Thank you.
Claudia, again, thank you so much for joining us. Take care and God bless.
Thank you both. Likewise.
And you are listening and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. On the other side, we're going to be speaking with Matt Margolis from JP Media. He's written a very interesting article. Biden's call for a search of the National Archives for Reade Complaint Just Backfired. We'll listen to that backfire right after this break.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling, the complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day and for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
And once again, we want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos Radio Show. My co-host today is Sharron Engel. I'm Rick Trader. And as a reminder for rebroadcasts of our show, check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. Be sure to like us, friend us, and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And Sharron, our next guest is with us. And as you do with all our guests, please make them feel welcome.
Well, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you, Mark. I always do that to you, Matt. Matt Margolis. Matt Margolis, who is author of Trumping Obama, How President Trump Saved Us from Barack Obama's Legacy, the best-selling book, The Worst President in History, The Legacy of Barack Obama, and The Scandalous Presidency of Barack Obama. His new book, Airborne, How the Liberal Media Weaponized the Coronavirus Against Donald Trump, will be released this summer. Matt, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos Radio Show.
Well, thanks for having me back.
It's our pleasure. You've written an article, Biden's Call for a Search of National Archives for Reade Complaint Just Backfired. We're kind of watching a little bit of that float in here, that backfire, but it doesn't look like it's really going to mean much. Talk about the backfire and then what you think it means.
Well, it was obvious to me from the very beginning that when Joe Biden said, hey, if there was ever a complaint, it's going to be the National Archives, that he knows that they weren't going to be there. And that was actually proven true when the spokesman for the National Archives said, we don't got any records like this here. So, I mean, right away he had put people on a false trail. But what Biden was really up to was he called on them to search. He called on the Secretary of the Senate to do a search of the archives for anything related to Tara Reade. And what we were kind of thinking was going to happen was a search would be conducted, and then nothing would turn up, and then Biden would be kind of saying, hey, look, see, nothing was there. Obviously her allegations are bogus, and let's move on. It was obvious that they weren't going to find anything anyway, but the fact that they're now saying that they can't do this search, and they can't release anything because of privacy issues, means that he doesn't get that closure on that issue that he was hoping for, which, for a lot of people, they were waiting to see whether they had it or not. Now the question is left open. So I think that backfired significantly on him, and if he was hoping that this was going to put the issue to bed, he clearly thought wrong.
So nobody really knows whether they have anything or not, because they just said, it's privacy, we can't disclose.
Right. Now we know that they're not going to be there. The big question is whether what's in his Senate records at the University of Delaware, which he has refused to release. So it makes you wonder, why is he not allowing those to be released? I mean, his excuse for why he wouldn't release them when he was on MSNBC just didn't make a lot of sense. He's worrying about things being taken out of context. I mean, that happens to politicians every day. I mean, and just look at what happened with Brett Kavanaugh. How many things happened during his confirmation hearings where it was easy to take things out of context, or just the massive release of information that was happening at the time. Things had the opportunity to be taken out of context. You're running for president. Things are going to come out. Things are going to be taken out of context. It happens to everybody. That's not an excuse to do that, to withhold these records from being searched. So, I think he's concerned about what's in there. And he could be concerned about a lot of things, not just about whether there's any sort of documentation regarding that sexual harassment claim. Personally, I don't think there is going to be a claim in there because obviously, I don't think that for someone who was fired over raising this concern about Biden, that the people that were responsible for everything were going to actually leave a paper trail about it. So
what you're saying is there's probably more in there than just Tara Reade that he doesn't want us to know.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's got a long, public record in the Senate. He's taken lots of positions. He's flip-flopped on a lot of things. There could be a lot of documentation about why that happened. What was going on behind the scenes that he doesn't want to be seen by the public before the election. So, I mean, I think he has a lot of reasons why he doesn't want that to be seen, and the potential for a complaint being in there, whether it's Tara Reade's or not, could be there. But I mean, honestly, I don't think anything like that'll be in there. I think that his people would have made sure nothing like that was left around.
Well, it seems like he's not too careful though about what he leaves laying around. We have all this Hunter Biden stuff that's actually out there to be known. It seems like he hasn't covered his tracks on much of anything. It's like he feels immune and has always felt immune. Like whatever he does, he can't be held accountable for.
All right. I mean, he spent 8 years being, photographed every day as vice president, and we saw all sorts of evidence of him touching women and young girls and doing inappropriate things. I mean, this is a guy who clearly. Either he felt that he could get away with it, or he's got, issues in his head where he doesn't understand exactly what he's doing, and there's definitely evidence for that too.
Sorry to laugh, Matt, but you're the second guest in a row, or a second guest today, that's basically said the same thing about Joe Biden. So that's why we're chuckling.
Well, it's interesting to me, though, that now he's worried. We point out that he's never been worried in the past. We have lots and lots of evidence. We can find it almost everywhere. Even now, without having to go back and corroborate what Tara Reade has said, there seems to be enough evidence that she has some kind of legitimate complaint that people are wanting to look into, at least more legitimate than what they've ever had on Brett Kavanaugh. So why now? Why is he trying to cover his tracks now? Is it just the presidency? Because these folks that have voted for him, they seem to be in the Biden train and not going to jump off anytime soon. So what's he worried about? Why is he trying to cover up now?
Well, I think the Democratic Party really kind of backed themselves into a corner during the Me Too movement craze thing, where believe all women, every woman has a right to be heard. Which I'm not saying that obviously women, if they have a claim, they should be heard. But their stance was they should all be believed. I I can't remember who it was, but there were people that were saying, no woman would ever fake a sexual assault claim. All these things that they're basically, because when it's a Republican under the microscope, women must be believed, and that hypocrisy is now coming out where there's a different standard for Democrats. I mean, look at the way the media has basically ignored the story, or certainly for as long as they possibly could. Biden responding to the allegations put them in this position where they have to cover it, but obviously they've been very dismissive of it. Although there's far more evidence that Tara Reade's claim is legitimate than there ever was with Christine Blasey Ford or any of the other allegations that were made against Brett Kavanaugh. So, this is a big problem for Joe Biden because he himself was saying that all women should be believed, and but not when it's an allegation against him. And aside from Tara Reade's complaint and what she's saying, we have evidence that he acts inappropriate with women. There's a pattern of behavior with him that makes it very easy to believe that there have been times in the past where he's taken liberties that he shouldn't have with women and has gotten away with it.
So if you were a woman, like say the governor of Michigan, who's actively trying out for the role of vice president, wouldn't you be worried that there might be some inappropriate behavior directed right at you? What's his reason for wanting a woman running mate? Because he absolutely, that's the only qualification. She doesn't have to be anything but a woman. That would be worrisome to me as a woman. Obviously, as you said, this guy's got some issues.
Well, I think it's clear that Joe Biden didn't win the nomination because he's Joe Biden and Democrats love him. He won because he was seen as electable. He kind of brings back that kind of that love of Obama. That people want to go back to those old days, the pre-Trump days, and he's kind of like he brings people back to that time. But he needs a gimmick to get people excited. There's a nearly 20-point gap in enthusiasm between Biden voters and Trump voters, and he needs something to kind of close that gap. And having a woman on the ticket can do that. I mean, we saw in 2008, John McCain picking Sarah Palin did a lot for his candidacy. I mean, nobody was really excited about him, but here was this unknown governor who really spoke to socialist conservatives, and she really she did a good job on the campaign trail. I mean, she did great at the convention, but she was often criticized for not being ready to fill the shoes of the presidency in the event that John McCain wasn't able to serve a full term or two full terms. I think there's a lot of attention being focused on who Biden picks because, he's going to be the oldest candidate, potentially the oldest president elected. He's definitely got, he's a few fries short of a Happy Meal.
He is the Happy Meal, Matt.
Exactly. So he if there's ever somebody who there was the potential for the invoking of the 25th Amendment, it's Joe Biden. So this is a very big choice for him on two levels. He needs to have someone that's going to make the base excited to support him, and he needs to have someone that could potentially be president. So there's a lot riding on this choice of his.
Sure.
Well, we have to go to a break right now. We've been talking with our guest, Matt Margolis, who is an author, written many, many books, and the latest one is Airborne, about the coronavirus and how it's being weaponized against President Trump. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos radio show networks and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM FM 24/7. Now you can watch us on the AUN TV network in Northern California. I'm Sharron Angle, here with my co-host, Rick Trader, and we'll be right back to discuss the Happy Meal, Joe Biden, after these messages.
Attention homeowners. Do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
And once again, we want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show. My co-host is Sharron Engel. I'm Rick Trader, and want to give a shout out to folks who listen to us on radio stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Milwaukee, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, Washington, D.C., as well as seen on the AUN television network in places like San Francisco, Sacramento, San Jose, Wine Country, Silicon Valley, and Redding. Our guest this segment is Matt Margolis. He's the author of Trumping Obama. I think you can see right over his shoulder. Matt, do you have that book?
I don't have that one with arm's reach, actually, but I do have my other book, The Worst President in History.
Worst President in History, The Legacy of Barack Obama and the Scandalous Presidency of Barack Obama. And he's got a new book coming out this summer, Airborne, How the Liberal Media Weaponized the Coronavirus Against Donald Trump. Matt, you got a couple of really interesting books, Trumping Obama, How President Trump Saved Us from Barack Obama's Legacy, The Legacy of Barack Obama and the Scandalous Presidency of Barack Obama. You don't like Barack Obama too much. There's a lot of talk about Barack Obama's bride beating Joe Biden's running mate, and you say not so quick on that one, don't you?
Well, I know that they're BFFs and all, but I don't want to see a repeat of the Obama years and Joe Biden. That's for sure.
Well, what I was getting at, there's a lot of talk that Michelle Obama might be his vice presidential running mate. But you have an article on PJ Media kind of nixing that idea.
Yeah, I think that it's a silly idea for a number of reasons. There's never been any indication that Michelle Obama wants to go back to the White House or has any interest in politics, of being a politician. I understand that the left has been talking a lot about this idea of Michelle Obama being his running mate, but to me, that's a symptom of they're not happy with the guy that they've chosen. They want someone that can excite them, and Joe Biden is not it. Michelle Obama would excite them. It would be, oh, look, an Obama back in the White House. We love Barack Obama. He was perfect. He was amazing. Blah, 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 blah. Wouldn't it be great if the first, woman vice president would be also an African American? It's all this identity politics nonsense. But yeah, I just, as much as Joe Biden talks about how he would love to be able to pick her, I don't think she'd do it, and I don't think he would really want to either. It's when you're running for president, the last thing you want is someone more popular than you as your running mate, and she's way more popular than he is.
That's a great point, Matt. And now I'll make the argument is I don't think he has the nomination. I've been saying it here on Conservative Commandos for some time. I don't think he will be the nominee. I, in fact, do think it will be Michelle Obama. And give you a little piece of something that I got here in my email today. It was a press release from the committee to draft Michelle Obama for vice president. Now, Sharron did a little research on this group, and guess where they're out of? They're out of Illinois. I mean, isn't that interesting? And when you add up and you're right about Joe Biden, he's a few fries short of a Happy Meal, and have to remember that one. That was a good one. And when you look at all the things that you say about this guy, how creepy he is and his history with kids and women and the things that he say, my God, we run a 7-minute video of all the gaffes that Joe Biden has said. I'm shocked. I will be shocked if, and I've said this before, I said it earlier on the show, I would be shocked if the Democrats don't find a way to pull him off the ticket, and I will use this Tara Reade situation as an excuse. Number one, from what I understand, Tara Reade was a Democrat. She actually said that she would vote for Barack Obama. I'm sorry, vote for Joe Biden. And you know, Matt, sometimes I've been accused of thinking too far outside the box. I think this Tara Reade situation would sink just about any candidate. My question is, why did it come out so early? Why didn't this come out in October when you would think about an October surprise coming out? And Matt, I almost wonder if it isn't the Democrats have put this out about Tara Reade at this time to make a really good excuse not to give him the nomination and give it to Michelle.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing about that is that, I mean, she first came forward about these allegations in March. It took a while for them to gain enough steam where it was something that he had to respond to. I do believe that the Bernie Bros are somewhat behind this, getting a lot of traction. There's definitely a decent sized contingent of Bernie supporters who don't want to see Biden as the nominee, who said that they will not vote for him in November. There are people alumni from his campaign that are talking about this, and I think really giving a lot of support. There's certainly that to consider there. But why it came out now? I mean, we got to remember here. This isn't. We're not talking about accusations against a Republican. We're talking about accusations against a Democrat. The media tries to cover this stuff up. You almost need more time for it to gain traction. I mean, that's kind of my thinking, is that, there nothing was going to stop. I mean, the media, remember, was trying to make sure that Biden got the nomination for some reason. I can't explain
Matt,
why.
I don't want to cut you off, but I did want to give you a minute or so to talk about your new book, Airborne: How the Liberal Media Weaponized the Coronavirus Against Donald Trump. Don't want you to give any secrets away that would stop people from buying the book because they got all the information, but give us a little snippet of it.
Well, my new book, Airborne, which is coming out in early July, basically what I did with this book is I looked at media coverage of the coronavirus, and kind of picked out the key lies that were put out by the media, debunked them, and then it basically found them and debunked them, and to demonstrate just how desperate the media was to try to take the coronavirus and turn it into something that would be a political liability for Donald Trump. I mean, it's the media has been on this game since he was elected. Since the day after he won the election, it was, how do we get rid of him?
Yep.
And
I don't want you to give anything away that's in your book, Matt. Do you think they will be successful?
I hope not. I don't really think so at this point. I mean, the media coverage has been so bad that he's literally been accused of having blood on his hand because some woman gave her husband fish tank cleaner because it had chloroquine in it. So when you get that kind of negative coverage, the fact that Trump isn't polling at like 20 or 30% right now tells you that a lot of people aren't buying into their lies. But I mean, there's those independents that you got to get the votes from, and how many more months of this kind of coverage is going to have that? What kind of impact will that have on them? I don't know.
Matt Margolis, we got to run. By the way, that woman, she's being investigated for murder now. The lady that gave the fish tank cleaner to her husband. But Matt, please tell our audience how they could follow your work, read your articles, and also pick up your books.
You can check me out at pjmedia.com. I write there pretty much every day. And you can find me online at mattmargolis.com.
All right. Hold up that book one more time. There you go. The worst president in history, the legacy of Barack Obama. I love that title. Matt Margolis, thank you so much for joining us. Take care and God bless.
Thank you.
This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. Sharron and I will be back with more right after this break.
Are you a veteran and are you a homeowner? Then think Streamline and maybe save yourself a few $100s every month on your mortgage. A VA Streamline refinance. It's called a rate reduction loan because mortgage interest reduction is exactly what it does. It's just for veterans and it lowers your mortgage rate so you can save on mortgage payments every month, every year. That's a lot of money saved. And it's so easy to qualify. You don't need pay stubs, a W-2, or bank statements. You don't need a home appraisal. It's fast and easy to apply. And mortgage interest rates are very low right now. So a VA Streamline refinance makes it super easy and super affordable to take advantage of this opportunity and really cut your monthly mortgage payments. Veteran and homeowner? Call us to find out more. 888-893-7491. 888-893-7491.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
Is your credit card debt driving you batty? We're going up! Just like your credit card fees and interest rates. To the top! With those sky-high payments! You can't forget about your debt. Always fear, the debt suckers are here!
Are your payments sucking the life out of you? Just one call to Consolidated Credit can get the debt suckers off your back. Consolidated Credit will lower your interest rates, consolidate your bills into one easy payment, and get you out of debt fast. Call Consolidated Credit and get your life back.
Call 1-800-201-8213. 1-800-201-8213. That's 1-800-201-8213. 1-800-201-8213.
When debt is the problem, Consolidated Credit is the solution.
Because debt sucks!
Attention Viagra and Cialis users. Are prescription drugstore prices too costly? Get 50 generic pills for only $99. That's right, 50 100 milligram generic Viagra for only $99. Our products have the same active ingredients as the brand name products. Money back guaranteed if you're 100% not satisfied. Get 50 generic pills for only $99. Order now and call the number on your screen. Have your credit card ready.
Well, Sharron, that wraps it up for today. It's been a fun show, and I want to thank you for sitting in as my co-host. And Sharron, for those of you who would like to keep track of you while you're not here on Conservative Commandos, what can they do?
Well, they can go simply to SharronAngle.com, SharronAngle.com. But, you know, our guests are the hallmark of our show.
Absolutely.
They're what makes Conservative Commandos a great radio show. And I want to thank them so much for coming on and sharing with us. First of all, Rachel Alexander, senior editor of The Stream, talking about Biden and why he's a good pick for our side. And we also had Claudia Rosett gave us the truth about the Wuhan virus and why it promotes the agenda of world domination for China.
That's real scary.
It is. And finally, our guest, Matt Margolis, author of several books, a new book titled Airborne, talking about Tara Reade and why why it's coming out now about Tara Reade. But anyway, thank you to all of our guests.
All right. But for right now, we're out of time and we got to run. We got to go. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you tomorrow on TV and on radio.